Hello,
Thank
other
you,
demon.
Demon. And welcome to another episode of Philly by Night. This one entitled, I Talked to the Sheriff, but I Did Not Talk to the Deputy. Before we get started, where is my dang read-along? Right? You don't want to talk to the deputies, that's punishment.
Moon is a damn delight, thank you.
There we go. Content warning. This session may contain, but is not limited to, body horror, mutilation, manipulation, gaslighting, use and abuse of disciplines, raised voices, possibility of violence leading up to and including final death, possible methods of torture, starvation and the mentions thereof, religious extremes and practices. For your safety and comfort, your ST team has set up a series of emojis in the stoplight system. We'll be doing check-ins as the session goes, and you may either state your color or post the corresponding emoji in the beta chat. If you are yellow, you head to Decompression VC if you feel compelled to do so, and a member of the admin team will be with you. If you are red, we will stop the scene, we will go to decompression. That is not a request, it is a requirement for both the players and the storyteller's safety. Now, with that, let's get underway. As one Moriarty wakes up a couple nights after meeting with the rambunctious Ventru Thomas Pierce, or is it Peretti? Did we ever get an answer? We'll find out. This episode is going to be a little bit weird because it is being recorded prior to that session, so it's a little bit of a time jump, so bear with us. We are going to say that Moriarty is currently at Hunger 1 and will need to do his checks for this evening.
Should I do it in my personal chat or should I do it in the beta?
Whichever one works for you. I ain't picky.
Not about that anyway.
Hey. Listen, Hunger 2, alright.
Starting off strong. And I'm going to blush as well because
Alright.
Because people. Wow.
Gangrel start. Hunger 3. Awesome. I was kind of hoping for this, to be honest with you, because this brings up my favorite little mechanic that I stole from a fellow storyteller, because it's just beautiful. So, as Moriarty rises, opens his eyes, he feels the hunger take hold, decides to blush so he looks more human, once again feeling the beast rise up. And then he takes notice of something. A figure, sitting in the corner in a chair, one leg crossed over the other, sitting back, hands steepled. It leans forward into the light to reveal this obviously flesh-crafted face that has become more dragon-like, more bat-like, maybe something in between the two. It's really hard to tell. My young progeny. I can sense you. Your hunger well. How strong you're becoming. Steeping into the roots of our sorcery. And yet, you've come to be a lapdog of our ancient enemy, that supposed clan of kings. Such a disappointment you are.
Don't know exactly who you are, but you're in my haven, and I want you out.
And like that, the face changes, and you're staring at yourself. I'm you. And it cackles and fades back into nothing.
Great. Not even a few days in, I'm already seeing things. Because of course I am. Why not?
Yes. So, with that, Moriarty has risen, and would he like to go hunting?
Oh, very much.
Let's see how gangrel this start really.
Oh dear. I'm going to use my specialty as well. No, hunger free.
Ooh, you are lucky. You are lucky. 4 is the bare minimum successes for hunting. Otherwise, that would be a huge bestial fail.
Now you listen here,
Wow.
Dicebot.
Oh.
You listen here, Dicebot.
So, you are able to go out, slake your hunger on a unwilling victim. As you pull your teeth away and feel the beast kind of get closed back into its cage.
That's better. So much better. And I'm going to use cloud memory on whoever I've just eaten from.
Excellent, excellent. And now, wiping the whole vampire Jedi mind trick like, this never happened.
These are not. This is not the kindred you're looking for.
Right. Wow, that was damn. So now, Moriarty, you have a meeting.
Indeed. But before he heads over there, he's going to take one more look at the pamphlet and just just one more glance, one more insight into it, as best he can. And if he manages to glean some information from it, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
If not,
the pamphlet for the living life water. Let's see. Was Moriarty in there when that was mentioned? Actually, I believe you were, because that was mentioned in one of the previous solo sessions. That this establishment belongs to a man by the name of Vasile. A man who has come to Philadelphia in an effort to start his own kind of establishment similar to the circulatory system, but entirely to undercut and debase them.
just a quick question for the ST. Would Moriarty be aware of what the circulatory system is?
I feel like they're infamous enough within kindred society. Like, everybody kind of knows what they are. You may not know how to get in contact with them, but you've heard of them.
Am I able to try and figure out what it is about this pamphlet that makes it so difficult to pierce? Because I know that there's something off about it.
So now that you have the information that this establishment does belong to a kindred, you are kind of able to pick into oh, this is worded this way, this is worded that way. It's worded and almost coded in a way where it's masquerade safe to just be out on the streets. To almost to this point of maybe it lures Kine in and sends the word out to kindred I have a buffet for you. It's very much one of those oh, now I get it.
Yeah, now that I've got information from elsewhere, it's that makes sense.
Yeah.
Is it still something that's noteworthy of concern to the sheriff?
It might be. It might not be. the sheriff might know about it, but the sheriff may not know about the flyers being put out on the street.
Better safe than sorry. He will take out his phone and he'll call the number of the neonate coterie shadow Valentina, because I do remember that she wanted to come along and peer into the situation, as it were.
The phone rings a couple times before the shadow picks up. Hello, how can I help you?
Hello, Miss Valentina. It is Mr. Moriarty. I remember the last time that we spoke, or sometime before that, actually, that you wished to accompany me when I went to see the sheriff.
Of course. Do you know where you're meeting her yet?
ST, where exactly was it? It was at Harris.
I believe the sheriff has a location on their card, if I'm not mistaken.
It is called Smashbox 20.
Yes, Miss Valentina. I have been informed to meet her at Smashbox 20.
Interesting.
She told me to bring expendable clothes.
Well, you better do as the sheriff says then. I will meet you there.
I am indeed in my most least missable clothes. I shall make my way there immediately.
And there's a click as you guys hang up the phone. And now you're free to make your journey over to Smashbox 20.
I'm gonna make my way there. How long does it take? How long does it take to get there via walking?
Let's see. Benny, where did we put Smashbox, or is it just kind of out there?
It's currently in the ether because it is in
Okay.
the other half of the malediction building. Because they're literally in the same building. They're just two halves.
Alright.
And I don't think Felber ever chose. So
I do not think that was ever established, no. So, for sake of simplicity, we will say it's between 45 minutes to an hour on foot.
yeah, that's a good idea.
He just kind of like looks at the garage and just be like, needs must. And he's going to take the car.
All right. So, driving from your haven over to the established Smashbox 20, seemingly sharing a wall with a club known as Malediction, known to the late, great Amos Locke, who was taken from the city by the hound known as Akuma in a fiery blaze.
He just kind of like... Would Moriarty be aware of this?
It was not secret that what happened to Amos and where it happened. In fact, at John and Alicia's wedding, there was an urn there in his honor.
Liam just kind of like looks at the club and just gives a very kind of like polite, just 2-finger salute of respect. And then the first thing he does is that he kind of like just takes the leather jacket off because he does want to save that. He has no idea what's going to happen, but he's just kind of like every precaution. And then he heads inside Smashbox 20.
All right. When he walks in, Benny Sorokin, what is he looking at?
So, the building that Malediction and Smashbox 20 share effectively is one of these large industrial buildings. It was in the industrial district, I remember that, or in some industrial building somewhere. It's about 3 or 4 stories tall. Malediction only seems to go up 2 stories, whereas, like, Smashbox 20 seems to have multiple floors to it. Apparently, smashing is a big business. And I checked. There's like no other smash rooms in Philadelphia. It's kind of weird. So captive market, as it were. And it's an industrial building, so who cares what goes bang in the night?
Philadelphia does not condense all of their smashing into a building. They do it out in the open, in the wild.
Yes.
I thought that's what the prince had certain coteries for.
Just wait till football season.
Somewhere Einar's ears are itching, and this is exactly why.
I can't smash things. My fellow kindred, go out and smash things for me.
I mean, something that he would probably notice, because it's not really that hard to notice, is that this part of the Smashbox 20 part of the building seems to be pretty reinforced, and nowhere is that more apparent than on the inside. Because even in what amounts to be the reception room, the room where you check in and the attendant, there's like a little waiting area because, people, stuff, things. What day of the week is it, Ryan?
Oh, I believe it's Thursday.
Cool. So there's a decent amount of like normal kind in here, that sort of thing. But running basically the attendant or tonight's is this rather fetching redheaded woman. Maybe not quite wearing what she's wearing, but I didn't put together an outfit for her, so assume that it's you're still getting the picture, so to speak.
Okay, I misspoke. It is a Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yeah, it's still not bad. Wednesdays are okay. It's May. Basically, we'll smile at you. Just get a little tag on that says Rose. And goes, get a reservation?
When I spoke to the sheriff last, she gave me instructions on what to say to Rose, didn't she?
Yes. It'd basically be something to the effect of, I'm here for the manager special.
He just walks up to Rose and is just like, "Hi, I'm here for the manager special."
Oh, you're the special appointment. Gotcha. She'll basically yell out a name, and I forgot. There's another woman that comes in that looks strangely similar to Emily Blunt, and basically tells her to watch the desk, as she basically will lead you out around some of the rooms, and then we'll open up what's clearly is labeled supply closet. Opens up the supply closet. You kind of go in, wind around a little bit, and then basically there's a door in the back of this rather massive supply closet, which has normal stuff in it, like cleaning stuff, extra hitting implements. It just seems to be kind of a random junk room, but supply is a very loose term these days.
Miscellaneous stuff, effectively.
But she will then open the door in the back of the supply closet, which seemed to be like kind of like barrel light bulb, concrete stairs that go down, and just opens it up free and goes, "Have a good time. I'll make sure to put the tarp to lay the tarp down for when you come back up."
Thank you very much. And then he's just gonna head on in.
Once he gets downstairs is a rather more or less simple affair. in that there seems to be an office off in one area, and then another area that's technically kind of like the cell area, but it's still walled in. So even if someone mundane got down here, it would still be pretty masquerade safe. However, the bulk of the rest of the basement assaults your eyes in the amount of sparkly neon glittery bullshit that is just like decorating the walls. The floor is epoxied with glittery underneath, so it looks like you're walking on glitter, but it's not picking up on your shoes. There are a couple of drains in the floor, which is interesting. Maybe it's a cleanup protocol. Who knows? And then there's they've used like barrels and pallets and just random junk as like stands to set other random junk on it. And basically there's a sign that says, every 3 out of 4 containers contains glitter, break one and take your shot. There's a whole rack of like breaking implements. And basically coming out of the office is Benny with just like a standard wooden baseball bat over her shoulder as she smiles and goes, excellent. Right on time.
He just kind of like does like a little kind of like curt nod, and he just goes like, you must be Sheriff Sorokin.
Yes, and you are Liam?
Yes.
Go.
Mm-hmm.
Pleasure to meet you. She will walk over and give you a very firm handshake. Doesn't try and crush your hand, but still very firm.
Yeah. Liam would return the pressure, but again, not try and crush her hand or anything. Actually, he can't. So
I was going to say I would be very impressed to see that happen. As Benny's has that feel of a vice grip that's holding back.
She's got the vice grip that's holding back. Liam's got the soft grip that's trying too hard.
Appreciates the effort. Love it.
Meeting your partner's dad for the first time.
I get it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I'm like, wait a minute, there's no like characters. Oh, and then I was like, oh no, wait, go.
Open your mind.
But yeah, she'll let his hand go, and be like, well, I can either drag some chairs out here, or we can talk in my office. Dealer's choice.
I feel it probably best to talk in your office. This concerns particular business.
Right. Now, did you bring anyone with you? Are you all alone? I need to let Wilson.
The shadow of my group, the individual in charge, Miss Valentina will be joining us.
Oh, you mean me? As there is a voice from behind you. The outfit posted in the SPC outfit link. Not quite the white power suit from before, but still very CEO Devil Wears Prada vibe.
And Benny's eyebrow will quirk up and go, it's been a while since anyone wore white down here. That is a bold choice, ma'am. I like that.
All things are done with boldness, Sheriff. Those who are not bold are destined to fall into the wayside in shadow.
Fade away.
I like it. general disclaimer, I'm not responsible for any glitter that may or may not get on you, but if you happen to be in the blast zone, also not my fault. Gestures. Gestures to the office.
Just holds his leather jacket a little bit, like close.
Oh, I got a bag for that. If you want to put it in a bag, that probably is the only thing that's gonna save it.
I would very much appreciate that. That I clearly did not think ahead.
It's okay. You've never been here. You don't know my proclivities, predilections, etc., etc. This is what I fondly call my glittery therapy room. So you'd be amazed. It's also very much, and she'll kind of like pat the wall. And she like when she pats the wall, it's like most people's, like there's some oomph behind it. I had it specially reinforced. So actually the whole facility is just some areas are less, are more public than others, and you can carry this to the rest of your coterie mates, anyone else you might meet. But if you need to lose your shit somewhere safely, and she says this in a clear meaning of like if you got a frenzy or something, or if you got to talk something out and you think you might lose your shit, this place is reinforced for it.
Well, hopefully I won't need it for that particular reason, but
you know what? Let's see if this dawns on Moriarty. Let's do, what do I want to add to the insight? Intelligence or wit? For giggles, it's going to be intelligence and insight.
Lost insight for a split second. I don't know why.
Fortunately, don't lose insight.
Fortunately, wits and intelligence are the same number. Nope.
Nope. So this does not dawn on our young dragon. In fact, I believe that is a bestial fail.
Is it? Well, I got a success.
Baseline for most successes is 2.
I'm going to re-roll. Because no.
Yeah. Okay. With that, and we'll make sure we mark you down for having spent 1 willpower out of all that you have available. It would dawn on you that within your coterie, there are probably 2 people that are best served by taking them here if they are to frenzy. And perhaps it would be the Mr. Oscar Sullivan and Thomas, whatever his last name.
Yeah, I can think of at least 2 people who would benefit most from this area indefinitely. Though I feel like it is as if my entire group might benefit from this place just from sheer stress.
But yes, Valentina will follow you all in and kind of take a step to the side, putting as much distance as she can between the smashable items and herself.
So, yeah, Benny's office is a reasonable sized. Clearly, she had license to do whatever the fuck she wanted with the basement, so she has. But in here is almost a completely different tone from the glittery accosting that is the rest of the outside of the basement. In here, there's tons of hockey memorabilia lining the walls, a hockey puck signed by Gretzky, and some sticks, just some other things on there. A lot of Canadian team merch, like the Maple Leafs and the Senators in particular. And then let's see here. And then there's just, the desk and its environs are pretty perfunctory and like very, very business, very like utilitarian. There's not many frills and ruffles or whatnot, so forth. Filing cabinet, etc., etc. What is kind of weird about this room is that in the back there are two wooden like steamer trunk chests that look like could fit someone if they were folded in half in each. Maybe two people, depending on the size.
Yeah. This bad boy can fit a whole fledgling coterie in it.
And on each one is wood carved penalty box. But
the moment where like, is that a Liam stare or is that a demon stare? Because I don't know if you guys have hockey.
I like hockey.
hey,
But he's gonna like kind of look at the box. He's gonna look at all the hockey memorabilia, and he's gonna like be kind of like nodding in a kind of kind of a, what's the best way of putting it, in a kind of like you're just like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. See the boxes, and just be like, focus on the task at hand. Focus on the task at hand. Don't ask questions.
So now that you have finally come into the infamous Smashbox 20, you have the sheriff all to yourself. Well, minus the shadow.
right.
Yeah.
She will basically come in, sit down. She doesn't sit down normally in the chair. She seems incapable of it. We'll grab a there's a jar of stress balls of all different like brands, kinds, shapes, sizes. She just plucks one out and starts like bouncing it against the wall, like she's incapable of being still, but she's looking at you like, so what's up?
At this point, he takes off the sunglasses, puts them away in the bag where his leather jacket is, and he just reaches in to get the pamphlet, and then he just puts it on the table. Came across a person, a mortal, who was distributing these on the street.
On this pamphlet reads The Living Life Waters. Not necessarily a getaway, but almost like a detox establishment. And if Benny is familiar, I swear I can talk today.
It's okay.
We believe you. We believe you.
Benny is familiar with any kind of kindred iconography, she might pick up on some stuff.
I would say yes at this point.
It definitely gives the vibe of a cover for something kindred related. And the name attached to it is a mask name that has recently been added to the court. The name of Jason Heinz. Heinz. Or I'm sorry, I read that's different. Lucas Findler. Sorry, I read the wrong box on the sheet.
Now there are two of them.
Yes, Lucas Findler, like fiddler, but you stick an N in there.
he just then, having like given it to the sheriff, he just kind of like he's speaking to the sheriff, but he's also speaking to both the sheriff and Valentina, as he just goes like, I was able to glean some information from the mortal who was handing these out. And Esty, if I remember correctly, it's it's a blood distribution system that is kind of flipping the bird to the circulatory system.
Accurate assessment.
He was effectively handing them out on the street. Best way I could describe him was stereotypical hippie.
Terms that could be used were nervous, jittery, perhaps a little tweaked out, perhaps under the influence of something.
Yes, he did seem to have been a bit nervous, a little bit jittery. Definitely under some form of influence.
So someone who clearly looks like they were on drugs was handing out flyers for a detox facility?
Yes, but once I got talking to him, he told me what it effectively was. It's a blood distribution system to kindred that in many ways...
A mortal said this.
Yes.
A normal person.
Definitely kind.
Do you have any idea if they were a servitor? Anything like that?
I'm guessing no, ST?
It is incredibly hard to tell because ghouls retain a heartbeat.
Unfortunately, I was not able to discern that information. He has no, if it's any consolation, he has no memory of meeting me.
That is true. Liam could easily explain that I used my powers of dominate to erase that portion of his memory entirely.
Yeah, and also as well used his powers of dominate to make him talk as well. Yeah, he does explain. I used my particular gifts to make him talk, and then I made him forget.
Well, thank you for this. I'm going to have to go have a nice talk with one of our new Meals on Wheels coterie members, because we don't. If you ever find a normal person talking like that again, yes, memory erasure is good. Taking them off the street, next better step.
It could be clarified that they only talked about the kindred things after being dominated.
Yes, they only discussed these things with me after I compelled them to talk about them. Otherwise, they were effectively just handing out flyers as if they were as they appear.
Better safe than sorry. Let's put it that way.
Agreed. I did not want to do anything that could put anyone else at risk.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. The next time I will definitely respond to that sort of thing. Thankfully, Thomas is occupying the prince's attention, so this should not go to should not be any further aggravating.
Since Benny does spend a lot of time at the prince's side for introductions, it could be safe to assume that she has met this individual and has some information about him. mask name, regular name, and clan of origin.
Right. The particular individual in question is not only known by, and she'll kind of put that name on there, amongst us, he's called Vasily, and he happens to be like you. Imagine that! Another dragon in town. It's such a small world.
Yes, I can see how that would be a little bit of a problem.
During his meeting with the prince, Benny would have been privy to the fact that he is more inclined to the sorcery than other classic dragon methods of powers.
Yes, apparently he likes to, she'll do the gesture that Jack Sparrow does. Apparently that's his forte. I don't know. Most of that stuff went right over my head, but he went into a whole spiel in front of John, or the prince.
Huh. You don't hear about that a lot of these nights.
What?
That particular brand of... And he does the kind of like hand wavy kind of deal.
Yeah, I would, yeah, like, she'll kind of look at Valentino. I assume we're in trusted company, so just don't go doing this around Islington and the rest of the Tremere. They might,
I do not believe that I will have to worry about that. Most of my time will be spent keeping at least one of this coterie members away from Mr. Islington and the rest of his brood. Unfortunately, there's some bad blood.
Yes. I've heard about that.
I do not believe I've met Mr. Islington. Have I? St, have I heard of Islington?
Since you have been in the city since the start of the war and to the establishment of the new regime, Islington would have been a name you came across as the new regent and primogen of the Tremere.
Oh. He just kind of like, yes, I don't believe I've met Mr. Islington. He sounds respectable and quite influential.
Very British. Loves to answer questions, but she looks like she's about to say something else and just kind of remembers what she is at the moment. So she's like, I need to be a little bit more professional.
Like, no. Inside thoughts.
Inside thoughts. Good chap though. So like he's usually pretty open to answering questions. I will say that. Just be careful what questions you ask, because he will deduce a lot of intention from just a few words.
You just see Liam just kind of like have a little bit of a light chuckle to himself, and then he just goes like, one would almost say a modern day Sherlock Holmes.
Yes, that would probably be the best way to put it. About the only way to confuse him is to show up naked.
I think for the sake of my dignity and for the sake of his sanity, I probably wouldn't want to do that.
Oh, probably. But yes, Mr. Vasily has made himself known. Got put into the Meals on Wheels coterie. Not sure flyers are the way to do what he's doing. I'm certain he can go back to the old-fashioned ways. So, if you want, I can temporary deputize you, and you can go talk to him. If you think you'll have better luck, otherwise, I will have a conversation myself.
I mean,
Up to you.
I leave it entirely up to your wisdom. I'm imagining that he's far older and far more savvy than myself. I am only 6 years embraced.
She takes a very deep, unnecessary sigh of, oh god, another hyper-competent fledgling.
This one earned neonate simply by actions alone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She'll look over at Valentina and go basically be like, what's your opinion? Through facial expression.
Is this about Liam or about
him going to talk to Vasily about, finger wagging him?
I mean, it could open doors if he is of a certain teaching. I understand that some things Mr. Moriarty may be inclined to wish to learn and require a teacher. Perhaps this would be a way to open that door and build that bridge.
Definitely sounds tempting, I won't lie. So, he just kind of looks between Valentina and Benny, and he just kind of goes like, if you believe that I will be able to accomplish this task, I'll be more than honored to accept the title of deputy, if only temporarily.
She'll nod and go, from what I heard that you did during the conflict, it's good enough for me. She'll basically stand up. She pulls what looks like it's functionally a stake, but it looks more like a white drumstick with netting around the bottom, and basically will flip it around so it's not the pointy end, and basically will lean over the desk and knight you with the stake. I dub the temporary deputy for the purposes of going to talk to Vasily. Let me know how that goes. You can either text me or we can have a nice meeting again. Your choice.
Whichever is more convenient for yourself. And he just kind of gives a kind of nod / bow.
She'll flip the thing. It just does. It catches it and will put it back in her jacket. As she does, so you can see that there's a matching one on the other side, in the other side of the jacket that's hanging off the back of the chair.
Mental note: do not piss off the sheriff.
I mean,
yeah, adjudication isn't hanging up in her office yet because she needs to buy a little rack and put it up there. But
needs to buy a little rack for it.
Writes down on to-do list.
So, is this something that Liam thinks is pressing and should be handled right away, or?
Probably best to handle it as soon as possible.
Before you switch the scene, Benny will go, there's no other questions. I need you to do one other thing for me. This is more of a personal for me to the rest of your little group. And she will go, she pulls up a plastic milk crate full of multicolored glittery folders. And and each one seems to have someone in your coterie's name on it, and just basically be like, I almost forgot your orientation packets. You got one too. Yes, I know you've been here a while, but that way you get the same information. There's a couple little goodies in there for you. She looks at Valentina. Yours is coming in the mail.
I'm not sure whether to be flattered or terrified, Sheriff.
Both is fine.
Hmm.
Both is fine.
We can work with both.
I'm thoroughly impressed.
Yes, well, I need to do something with all the nervous energy, you know. It's kind of a lot, so.
I'll make sure that these get to my coterie mates as soon as possible.
Excellent. Fantastic.
And then he'll take the the stuff, and then he'll just be like, "Is it?" So basically, it's just like a tray, or should I just like bunch them all up and then just like?
I will grab a picture of the milk crate. A milk crate. Oh, that's perfect. That'll do.
A milk crate.
Yes.
Let me shut my door.
I know, you're fine.
There are children outside playing, and they are loud. Yes. The old milk crate.
Yeah. It's totally battered, beaten, nothing fancy about it. It's clearly, you know, if you had to guess, like, because Smash Rooms, they basically, like, will loot junkyards, they'll take people's junk. This is probably someone's old thing that they just gave up. But as you take the crate, it's not heavy, but as you take it, it just shakes a little bit, and there's this fine poof of glitter that just comes up and goes down, and don't worry, all the glitter is biodegradable.
That's actually reassuring. I won't lie.
Yeah.
Probably add a bit of just looks to Valentina. Probably add a little bit of color to the coterie haven.
Yes, just be careful. I'm not sure how Mr. Boone or Mr. She pauses for a moment, licks one of her fangs. Thomas will react to them.
Yes.
Betty has filed those names away, like.
She just name dropped some targets for me.
Absolutely.
She's like, Mr. Ripley, Miss Diadamo, Mr. Thomas. But yeah, he'll just,
given that certain events haven't happened yet, there's a little bit of animosity about, like, you weren't forthcoming with us. I'm not happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
not happy is an understatement.
Mm-hmm.
But here, Liam will just kind of like hold the milk crate, and he'll just be like, do you want this milk crate back?
Nah, I get like 10 of them a week.
More than fair.
Yeah, if you ever want, people donate junk to here all the time, and I loot junkyards pretty liberally. So if you ever need really disposable trash for any particular purpose, I can deal in junk. You never know when you need some odds and ends.
I might take you up on that one day.
And also for being willing to step foot in this glittery thing, you absolutely have earned yourself a trip to any of the various levels at a point when we're not open to the public.
I can think of one person I know who would absolutely love it here, and I can think of another person who probably desperately needs it.
So,
If you ever need to, I do parties. Group rates are very affordable.
And now that I know that, I'm definitely coming back.
Excellent. Excellent.
Picks up the milk crate, gives Benny a nod, and puts his glasses back on. I don't know. Puts his glasses back on, gives her a nod, picks up the crate.
Valentina will give the sheriff the proper etiquette goodbyes and follow Liam out before fully leaving the building. Like, here, allow me. I will deliver these to the Haven. You have other business to handle.
I appreciate that very much, Miss Valentina. Thank you. If you're heading back to the Coterie Haven, if you see Oscar, if you see any of them, but particularly Oscar or Catherine, please give them my regards.
Yes, that's if Miss Diadamo has decided to leave her room yet.
She. I will find out. I will find out eventually. Probably best not to probe.
But following out, the address on the flyer would lead you to the western edge of the city itself. In fact, this building would be connected to the, I'm going to butcher this pronunciation, Lankenau Medical Center. I'm going to post that because it's spelled one way, and I hope I said it the right way. It is a Lankenau is the best guess I have.
I think.
This place is attached, kind of not really attached, but like set in beside it. So Liam will have to traverse across the city to get there.
He does so. When he gets out of the car, going to just as a little thing, he will take out a cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
He'll put it in his mouth and light it. But once he's lit it and takes one puff, he just kind of like holds it in his hand.
All right. So you pull up. This is a single-story building with the Living Life Water sign set atop of it. It does seem to be able to be fenced in, and it has a buzzer at the gate.
Takes a look at the cigarette, takes a look around. Is there any way where he can put the cigarette without it going out?
So that depends on if you are intending to walk into this facility or drive. Because you are able to drive up to the buzzer, the gate could open and you could fit the car through.
In which case, he just kind of like just goes, probably wouldn't have worked anyway. Flicks it and then drives up to the buzzer.
So driving up to the buzzer, it's just a little bigger box with a single call button on it.
Presses it and waits.
You hear the telltale. There's a couple seconds, and hello, Living Life Waters. What can we do for you?
Is there anything that Moriarty was able to glean from the pamphlet that suggests that saying certain words would get him where he needs to go?
Give me a wits and investigation.
What's an investigation?
just based on how that was.
Please be nice to me, Dicebot. We're at Hunger.
With that, there doesn't seem to be any keywords.
He just kind of like speaks. When he speaks, he just simply says, yes, someone handed me one of your flyers. Was wondering if I could potentially talk to someone about this?
Oh, you'll need to talk to Mr. Findler about that. Here, I'll open the gate. You can pull in, and we'll get you set up with him.
Thank you very much.
So the gate kind of rolls to the side. You're able to pull the car through, put it into the designated visitor parking area, and you can enter through the front door. Inside is a short, petite woman, curly brown hair, sitting behind the computer like, you needed to speak to Mr. Findler, right?
Yes, indeed, yes.
Okay. She picks up a phone, puts in an extension code. Tells him, Mr. Findler, there's a guest here to see you. Okay. All right. I'll bring him in. Clicks it like, okay, follow me.
Cool.
She will lead you towards the rear of the building, to a room labeled Assistant Director. She will knock, open it, allow you to go in, and then close it behind you. Inside is a man sitting behind a desk, dressed business casual almost. A coat hung up on a white coat hung up on a rack behind him. So he is not dressed as he is in this picture, but this is who you are looking.
Oh no.
He looks up from taking notes. Can I help you?
Liam pulls out the flyer and he just goes, hello, yes, I received one of these from one of the individuals that were handing them out onto the flyer. I was wondering if just a little bit curious about how this system all works. Just curious.
Well, are you wanting to... Do you need an intake? Do you need to stay here, or are you curious about other offers that we have?
Am I able to determine that this man is indeed kindred?
Give me a wits and insight.
Yay!
Yeah, do you... I don't think he does.
I do not.
No. In fact, doesn't even have that. Moriarty's built different. Yes, this man, regardless of the blush that he has activated, you get the sense of paying very close attention to how his eyes move and how he speaks. He's very careful to choose his words. This man gives off the, I don't know if you're kindred yet, so I'm watching what I say.
Oh, I don't believe I need to stay. And then he'll just push down the glasses so this man can see the orange eyes. He's just like,
yes. 1 moment. He reaches to the side of his desk. You hear a small click, and then you hear the door behind you, an electronic deadbolt shut. There. Now we are a little bit safer to speak more openly. What can I do for you?
I was just curious as to how this all worked. It just I got it from, I'm guessing, one of our more individuals, and under your employ, I assume.
Yes. Some of my servitors are a bit. How can you phrase this nicely? You can't really. They are addicts. Sometimes they are the best route to find other addicts to bring in for the necessary donation that we need.
Or to put it more simply, you need can't build a castle without workers.
Can't run a bank if the bank has nothing in the vault.
I like that one better.
And sometimes it's best to take wallets that won't go missing or won't be missed.
I like that. I like that a lot. Yes, I was just curious as to how this all worked. It just like I could glean from it that, you know, it led to here and led to this particular service. It's just a little bit just curious.
Well, Mr. I'm sorry, what was your name?
A Moriarty.
Ah, Moriarty. Very well. Are you in need of the services, or is this future planning?
More so future planning than anything.
Ah, yes. Well, you see, and he will take. May I see the flyer, please?
Absolutely, yes, of course.
He will flatten it out on his desk, open a drawer, bring out this little flashlight that he clicks, and it is a black light. Shines it across the bottom of the flyer, and a phone number lights up.
Ah, I did not think of that.
You simply call this number, and it'll go directly to myself or one of my servitors, who can either get you in here or deliver to location at a small price, of course.
Now that is extremely ingenious.
Thank you. I've had some time to perfect my craft.
So just call this number, and that's how it affects.
Yes.
That's more or less the gist of it.
It's been set up so that it will only go to one of our telephones. And it'll contact one of us directly. You won't have to deal with anyone at the front.
I see what you mean. So in other words, this, shall we say, circumvents certain...
Yes. We will circumvent the kind. They do not need to know what's going on.
Of course not. Absolutely not. I mean, how do you expect... I'm trying to figure out how to put this politely. How do you expect cattle to live peacefully when they know they're being herded?
You don't let them know. But my system differs from the circulatory system. I do have standards, of course.
But of course.
I only take those that won't be missed. And I don't take anyone that is a minor. It's against my code.
I couldn't agree more. I honestly could not agree more.
Mr. Moriarty, may I ask, what house you hail from?
Promise you won't judge.
Of course not.
I am of the how did my sire put it? Clan of fiends.
Ah, yeah. So we are one and the same.
Oh. He just kind of like looks at everyone, just like, you are of the Zamitsi too.
Of course.
I'm just actually, now that you've said that, I've only been a kindred for a little while, but in my time, I've been able to. I've had some people teach me some things, and
Are you referring to reshaping the fragile form that we have, or the thing that we had before those usurpers took it from us?
he unzips a part of the sleeve, and then just pulls it up and shows the initiation scar.
Ah, I see. And he will pull his collar away and reveals one on his clavicle.
Yes, I've had a bit of to put it bluntly, I've always had a bit of a curiosity about the more mysterious and enigmatic side of things.
Well, then perhaps this will be mutually beneficial. We can have an arrangement. You can push your fellows towards helping me keep this system running by ordering the product. And in return, I will be more than happy to teach you more than you currently.
Definitely does seem like a fair arrangement.
The simple thing. I don't ask much.
Just for clarification, you only take those who will not be missed. No minors. No
Adults of the criminal and addict variety off the street.
Seems definitely more viable and I want to say ethical, but I would say more pragmatic, if anything.
Less prone to discover. I do not need the kind organizations poking their nose in directions that I don't want them to. We don't need another repeat of London.
No, we do not. Actually, would Moriarty be aware of what happened to London?
Give me an intelligence academics.
Where? That's another thing I'm going to need to bump up.
I'm gonna say not with that.
He just kind of like frowns and just like, what happened? London?
Ah, yes, you are young. That's right. Our kind no longer exist there. They were purged
Purged.
by the Second Inquisition.
And they have the gall to call us monsters.
Well, what's the old proverb? Be careful when you hunt monsters, lest you become one yourself. And perhaps they're even more evil than some of our kind can be.
stare long enough into the abyss, eventually it stares back.
Yes, that's... You should tell some of the Shadow Weavers that. But they will not listen. If you are okay with this arrangement, we can shake on it. As good men of honor. And holds out his hand.
He takes it.
We have an accord then.
We do indeed.
If your friends and allies need food, I'm happy to provide, which will keep my business going. And in return, we will teach you the arts that we created long before Tremere and his kind even existed.
In many ways, reclaim our birthright.
I'm going to like you.
I do appreciate your time.
Of course.
Wait, was it Mr. It was Filner, wasn't it?
Findler is his mask name, but you can call me Vasil.
I appreciate this very much, Mr. Vastille.
Likewise. And he will push another button, and you hear the electric deadbolt click back over to the unlocked position.
He just kind of looks back and just like, and then just kind of like putting back up the masquerade. He just goes, "Thank you very much for all this information. It's been most enlightening. I'll have to contact you again in the future."
Of course. It would be my pleasure to assist.
Thank you. And then he gets up. Does he take the pamphlet back or leave it there?
He leaves it. If you want to take it, he will not stop you.
He will take it back because now he knows like how to work it effectively.
Mm-hmm.
And then he exits, goes back to the car, drives. He's going to drive away. He's going to find a. I'm going to try to say like a kind of like a spot where he can pull over.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going to phone Sheriff Sorokin.
The phone rings. Sheriff, do you pick up? If Benny's there.
She's on another date with Islington.
Whew. For the record, Demon said that, not me.
Yeah. No, it was the other Englishman.
Let's see if this works. Well, there we go.
Apologies, I was yelling at Kosin about something.
Ring, ring.
As is your marital right.
No one can blame you.
Sure, if your phone rings.
All right. Let's see here. Oh. Greeting. Glitter Patrol at your service for the cost of your soul. How can I help you?
Mr. Moriarty here.
Yeah. Wow, you work fast.
I've spoken to Mr. Findler personally. He has told me the details of how his system works. He says that the way in which he supplies his business is by taking undesirables specifically chosen for their anonymity.
Hmm.
He says that his system effectively, what's the word I'm looking for? It's designed specifically to stave off attraction of a more kind nature.
That's good. That's good. My main concern was the flyers. Like, hire yourself some taggers like a good old-fashioned person or something. Word of mouth, that sort of thing.
Yes, actually the flyers themselves. The flyers themselves are actually very well concealed. And as well as that, if I had not compelled the individual to have talked, chances are he probably wouldn't have accepted that. He also admitted that is something in which he needs to work on.
Good. I don't wish to hear about any such further things in the future. At the very least, if he's going to have people hand them out, make sure they have literally no idea what they're handing out, so other individuals, because this might be our city. That does not mean that there are not other of those like us who would not want to take it from us, and infiltrating our networks of sustenance is not exactly something that we want to compromise, capiche?
I agree entirely, but his system does seem to be, in best case, the best way I can describe it is that it appears to be ethical and pragmatic, as it does prevent attention of the their kind. And I should reiterate, I say ethical with huge quotation marks, but
yes, that's best.
But the reason why I say that is because he did emphasize the no minors rule.
Good. Still not entirely comfortable with that, but I have particular feelings about such things. However, as long as it keeps the first rule that we don't talk about intact, then fine.
I believe that at the very most, he has good intentions. Outcome, however, is somewhat up for debate.
Yes. Well, if you, I hereby release you from your temporary deputy duties. However, if you would like to keep an eye on Mr. Vasily, he is new in town, and I think, based on the information you've given so far in our previous conversation, you're worthy of a little bit of trust, so keep me apprised in case, I don't know him from Adam, as one might say. You are at least a little bit more of a known quantity.
If I hear anything that should require your attention, I will immediately contact you. To the best of my ability.
Excellent. Yes, do everything short of making something explode. There's far too many government eyes in town for no more of that to happen.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. And he is just kind of looking around, just making sure that no one's there.
So if you absolutely have to, and there's no other way, do what you gotta.
If I have to cause a certain spectacular, bright event, with destructive force. I seriously hope it doesn't come to that.
I will hope so too. I will hope so too. As much money as the boss has, I don't think he's too keen on rebuilding more of his city.
And unfortunately, there are some people who just won't be reasoned with, even with money.
Yes. What is it they say? Some people just enjoy watching the world burn.
Good thing we're not them.
So far, anyway. But yes, thank you. You hear something breaking behind you. I should go attend to that unless last words, parting shots.
No, not that I can think of, no.
Right. You have a wonderful night. Say hi to everyone for me. And feel free to tell everyone about the basement and everything.
Oh, trust me, I think they will find more than enough use for it.
Oh, I have no doubt. No doubt.
Have a lovely evening, Sheriff.
Good night.
The phone line clicks dead, and Moriarty is left out by his vehicle. With a few hours left of the night, was there anything he is attempting to do with the rest of his time?
He's going to call his retainer.
All right. You see, I have her name here. Oh, that's the wrong folder. Yes, Miss Evelyn. Phone rings, eventually goes to voicemail.
Evelyn, when you get this opportunity to call, please do. Just wanted to ask how you are and see if there was any developments of any sort. I hope you're having a lovely evening. Then, end call.
All right. So, no answer from his retainer. Having acquired the deal with a fellow dragon, and being a deputy for a night, is there anything Moriarty has, or is that the end of his night?
I'd say that's pretty much everything that he had. Although saying that, did he have any idea if Evelyn had plans this evening?
Not to your knowledge, but she usually does do side jobs here and there where she gets the opportunity. Just keeping her eyes and ears to the streets. Sometimes, people are just busy and they can't answer.
That's more than fair. I think once all of this is concluded, he's gonna, he'll head home and he'll just kind of like when he gets home he'll like actually on the way home, does he see that Dodge?
The Dodge Charger? No.
Does he see anyone following him?
What's awareness? If you have heightened senses, you can use that.
Unfortunately, I don't. Wits. Yeah. Yum. I'm gonna re-roll willpower. Never mind, did nothing.
Doesn't seem to be anybody following you.
He'll take the car back, put it in the garage, head inside, and more or less pass the time. More or less just pass. He'll more or less pass the time. Just kind of like reading some books, reading some stuff that he from his spider's web of a bedroom.
Yeah, he can spend the rest of the evening kind of doing his thing in his haven, relaxing until finally torpor takes him and he falls into the day sleep as the sun peeks over the horizon of New Jersey and begins to fill the city of Philadelphia with daylight. And that is where we will end this session of the Neonate.